What up? What up? Welcome back, everybody. Sports Talk 49. I'm with the foolery today. As you can see, the title, the Liam Coen Chronicles. Liam Coen ghosts Tampa Bay for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, you basically got ghosted for a dude that's on the fucking Monopoly cover. That's what you got beat out for. The guy that's on the Monopoly. All he needs is a monocle with the damn mustache. But I'm here with my boys, Big Game James Cannida and Jamal J. Buck Sanders. Y'all know the names. Y'all know the faces. Fellas, I'm gonna let y'all start off here, and I'm gonna jump in. Where should we start in all of this debacle?
Hey, I'll look at it like this. Well, first and foremost, I want to give a huge shout out to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization, their brass, from I even start with the owners, the Jason Light team, Todd Bowles, coaching staff, Baker Mayfield, play. I just want to give a huge shout out to them because my thing is, here's the thing. Uh, and I'm saying this from a fan's perspective. You all know me. I'm saying things from a fan perspective. When you're a successful organization, shit like this happens. I know people might not, agree with how he did it, which I know we finna get into that, whatever in a second. But when you're a successful organization, deep position coaches are going to want to become coordinators. Coordinators are going to want to become head coaches. Front office, Jason Light team, eventually, the ones that work under him, they're going to want to become GMs. It is what it is. I think it just goes to show that, the Tampa Bay organization, they now have a winning formula right now, and other teams, is going to do whatever it is that they can do, to get on board with that formula. I say all of that to say, this will be Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles is going into his fourth year as head coach, and he's had a different offensive coordinator every single year of him being the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It is what it is. How Liam Coen did it, that's up for whatever discussion. As a fan, it was low. It was can I cuss on here?
Oh, absolutely.
It was some fucked up ass shit how he did it. That's called it. It is what it is. But the reality is, he
there you go.
ain't do a goddamn thing that nobody else would have done. Now, all of a sudden, now everybody want to have all these morals and have all of this. He ain't doing that because this one thing. And again, this is what I'm about to say is allegedly. Allegedly, and James, you know better than I know any day. I would say allegedly. I read where as the highest paid offensive coordinator with the Bucs, Liam Coen would have got somewhere between 5 to 4 million a
Yeah.
year for
Yep.
3 years. Okay. Um. So let's round that up. 15 million over 3 years. 15 million is not 60 to 70 million over the course of 5 years. You can say whatever the hell you doggone want to say about some shit until you're actually faced with the situation. You mean to tell me it's an opportunity for me to get 60 to 70 million a year over 15 million? I'm gonna entertain that.
You're
And then
supposed
there's
to.
other components that people want to leave out of it. And again, all of what I'm saying is not to justify or it's not to condone what Liam Coen did and how he did it. I want to make it clear. I'm invested in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I want to get us to the point to where let's believe in our brass. Let's believe, whatever in Todd Bowles, that Todd Bowles can, select, you know, the next hot offensive coordinator,
Right.
whatever to lead this offense, to help assist lead this shit. Let's put our faith and hope back into Jason Light. They did it once, they can do it again. But Liam Coen ain't did a goddamn thing that nobody else. James, 60 to 70 million as a player. Come on, talk about it, bro.
Yep.
I'm itching to hear your opinion on it. 60
Man,
to 70 million.
first and
Also,
foremost, go ahead.
don't forget also, Jamal, he gets to pick his GM too.
Oh,
That
right,
part
yeah.
too.
So,
On top of that.
and I think it's two components based
Yeah.
off of how I read it and my sources. It's two components that I feel as though that Buck fans purposely leave out because they need their narrative. They need their narrative. They need to be able to place the blame. And don't get me wrong, rightfully so. Their feelings are valid. But here's one of the components that I've learned. Liam Coen removed his name from head coaching consideration with the Jacksonville Jaguars before Trent Bulk got fired. That's facts.
Right.
That's facts. That's the first piece of it. The other piece of it, too, when he accepted the contract to become the highest paid offensive coordinator, which I'm even hearing rumors he would have got paid more than Todd Bowles. But hey, that's allegedly. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. So he accepted that job under the condition of not taking a second interview with Jacksonville. So now Coen, I think it's Coen, fires Trent Bulk, circles back around the block. Say, hey, you get to pick your GM. I'm finna give you Ben Johnson money. Who ain't finna entertain that? Who not? So my thing is, come on now. He would have been a fool to then call the Bucs and be like, oh, wait, hey, I'm finna entertain, whatever, this contract, with the Jacksonville Jaguars, because then now, or whatever, you give the Bucs back to luggage. So if he goes to Jacksonville and he still don't come to some type of, contract negotiation with Jacksonville, then he asked out of both jobs.
That part.
He asked out. So again, it's fucked up how he did it. It's fucked up even if he lied about his kids, and all of that. Big people on this dog, come on now. People don't work on the job where they probably done lied. Their grandma done died. Every job that they done been
5
on.
times.
Their kid done been sick. Every job they done been on. So, I mean, again, it's a business. I'm not justifying it. It's dirty. It's more, I ain't taking nothing away, whatever, for allegedly what Liam Coen did. But on the outside looking in, I would understand why he would not have called the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, whatever, to say, hey, I'm going to take the second interview. Because then if he don't get the job with Jacksonville, then Tampa Bay can be like, okay, well, nah, we finna yank this. Not saying that Tampa would have, we don't know. We would never know.
Right.
At this point, we would never know. But how I understood, if he took the contract under the conditions of not entertaining the second interview or whatever with the Jacksonville Jaguars, he would have been a fool. He would have been a fool to call the Bucs. Why would you sabotage yourself and open up the door for you to potentially be asked out on both jobs?
Absolutely.
And I think those are two things that that a lot of the Bucs fans, whatever, don't want to factor into this narrative because he's right. I even had a friend of mine told me, no, I would have just took the $15 million. Yeah, you say that now until you're faced. But we have all, like I say, I have all of what I would do once I actually ever get $1 million in my life. I could say all of what I do with it until I actually get it. Until someone give me or whatever $1 million, I won't know exactly what I'm gonna do with $1 million until I actually have it. Same thing with Liam. You faced with 60 to 70 million and 15 million. You gonna entertain that 60 and that 70 million? Find a lie.
It sounds good. It does. You make a lot of great points. I love it. But at the end of the day, if you stand on anything, stand on your motherfucking word, dog. You said it best. I would be a fool. Everybody I know that has wanted to pursue coaching, get into NFL coaching, it's more often than not, it's to advance to the next pinnacle. Like you said, from quality control to position coach, from position coach to coordinator, from coordinator to head coach, from assistant personnel director to assistant GM, then to a GM. You're supposed to want to do that if that's what your goal is. Some people are content on being position coaches. But this is my thing. Don't go in on a handshake. Tell me it's all good. Then the next day, just no call, no show. I understand what you're saying. We all got that friend who been at the job who grandmama done died 7 different times. Every time it's a different manager, and goddamn, your grandmama done died again. How many grandmamas you got? You know what I'm saying? It's their excuse. But at the same time, if Liam Coen is the man and the GM or the person they think he is and can be the coach he's going to be, he gonna land on his feet like a cat you throw from the tree. He not gonna land and fall on his back. So my whole thing with Liam Coen is I'm never mad at nobody going to get their bag. From 15 to 60 million, yes, you would be a fool. But at the same time, let them know what's up. Don't just pick the phone up after you shook my hand the day before or a couple days before. Now all of a sudden I can't find you. Now I pray to God you would not lie on your child being in the hospital, because one thing you don't lie on is your child or your wife's name. You know what I'm saying? You don't lie on your kid's name ever. Period. Don't do that. So I'm hoping he didn't lie on that. You know, maybe he was at the hospital and then just instead of going back to his house in Tampa, he got on that private plane and flew to Jacksonville. That's probably what it was. But at the end of the day, Buccaneer fans, you gotta get over it. Dave Canales left the year before. Liam Coen gone now. You can cry, bitch, moan, everything you want to do.
Yep.
It's not gonna put him back in the building.
Nope.
So now the front office and the head coach got to get to work and find the next best person.
Next man up.
Yeah.
To be able to help take advantage of the quarterback we have on hand. Because that's the one reason that pissed me off. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was like, damn, this man finally came around, and I like the way he called plays to help Baker Mayfield in his offense. Now, did Baker still take chance and risk and turn the ball over sometimes?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. But
Hell
at the same time, look at every other quarterback in the league. You know what I'm saying? Most of your successful quarterbacks over time have always been risk takers and taking that gamble. You know what I'm saying? Call it an old rifleman. They're gonna take their chance of pulling that gun fast and you pull yours. It's some stuff, but at the same time, if that's gonna be our quarterback, you better go find the best suited coordinator to work with him and the rest of this offense to get it to have success, like we did earlier, you know, for most of this year on that side of the ball.
Absolutely. All right. So, you know, James, you know, I always like to say this part. I say I like when we tell a story, let's tell a story in its entirety. And I have a quick clip by a young brother that broken down Coen and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers before I get into my point, because you two made some solid points and y'all firing me up for jumping to my point. But let's play this first, and then I'm going to jump into it.
Without the support and opportunities that my family and I have been afforded throughout my career, especially during this past season in Tampa Bay. We thank Todd Bowles for his continued support and the entire Buccaneers organization for the experience, and know they will have success ahead. Those kind words at the end don't mean much to the Bucs. Adam Schefter said today on the Pat McAfee show that he has not heard of a team being this, quote, hot and bothered about a coach taking another job in the last 25 years. The Tampa Bay front office has every right to be furious, but they shouldn't be shocked. Chris Rock had a famous joke with the punchline being, the tiger didn't go crazy, the tiger went tiger. Coen went Coen. 7 years ago this month, the College of Holy Cross announced that Liam Coen was set to be their new offensive coordinator for the 2018 football season. By the end of that February, he left Holy Cross to be the LA Rams assistant receivers coach, calling it a dream come true. He then flip-flopped between the Rams and the University of Kentucky every year between 2020 and 2023. When he began his second stint with Kentucky in 2023, he said he missed SEC football, was in no rush to go anywhere, and was looking to plant roots. After that season, he joined the Bucs, calling the offensive coordinator job here a no-brainer. Now he's calling the Jaguars job the opportunity of a lifetime. I find it ironic that his new boss is Shad Khan, who is also the co-owner of All Elite Wrestling. There's a man on that AEW roster that I grew up knowing as Edge, the ultimate opportunist. Liam Coen is just like him. When there's a shiny new opportunity, he will cash in on it. The Bucs took two risks when they hired him. The first being that the offense would be like Kentucky's was compared to the rest of the SEC in 2023. The second was that Coen would do what he just did. Now, sneaking off to Jacksonville, ghosting the Bucs front office, not cool. But hey, Tigers go Tiger, Coen goes Coen. That's not shocking.
I love that, dog. I love that right there.
All right. Go ahead. You got some, Joel?
Tiger go Tiger.
If I had to give it a percentage, y'all follow me here. Mm-hmm. And I know what I'm about to say is not going to be, it's not going to be, individuals are not going to be a fan of this, especially when individuals need their narrative. I want to give it, I'm 70-30. I'm gonna say 70%, 30%. And this is what I mean. I'm 70%. I'm gonna go with the legend. I'm gonna go with James on this one. You know, because for me, your word means everything to me. Stand on your word. I agree with that 100%. But then again, too, when it comes to jobs, whenever I go into a situation, whatever with a job, I have to go in with some form of leverage to maximize the most earning potential that I can maximize. I find it funny, and James, you feel free to correct me wrong on this. I find it funny that when people talk about morals or standing in your word and things of that nature, the organization in itself is always going to be, or the job, it's always going to make decisions that's in the best interest of the company.
Fact.
The only time when people find it a problem is when the employee makes or do things that's in the best interest of the employee, or in the best interest of the player, or in the best interest of the coaches, things of that nature. Now, I will confidently say this. When it comes to Todd Bowles, and I want to be careful with how I say this. I want to be very careful how I say this. When it comes to Todd Bowles, 100% stand on your word. The only thing that I have seen on the outside looking in is Todd Bowles, with the most morals, with all of that. I would even go as far as to say that with Jason Light and his brand. I have not come across or heard anything that would, deter, of you being 100% solid, whatever with these guys. And as of recent, I would even go as far as to say that, whatever about the Glazers, and the ownership with Glazers. Now, there was a few times, which we're not going to get into that. There was a few times to where some decisions that have been made that hasn't sit well, whatever, with some of the fans, I'm not going to mention, whatever, some past thing, but there is some things that individuals can point to where it felt as though maybe the Glazers, wasn't moral or standing on their word, or don't like how, whatever, they done certain things, or they made decisions that they felt as though that was in the best interest, of the organization, So my thing is, I find it appears to me that this narrative that only fits when it applies to players and coaches. Because the organization is always going to make a decision that's in the best interest of the organization.
Mm-hmm.
Point blank, period. So whenever anybody go into it with a job, I'm always, it's leverage. It's leverage. I only can think of one time I ever went on a job interview. I probably had 2 or 3 jobs, whatever, in the works, and I'm trying to leverage which one that's gonna pay me. Point blank, period. So again, 70% of it is gonna boil down to your word. I agree with God with what he said, in regards, whatever, and as as far as what the tight, that was a perfect example of what he is, as far as the perfect example. But the other piece of it too, I'm just noticing when it comes to people narratives, why does this always apply to players and coaches? Because my thing is, if when it comes to players' contracts, when organizations like, hey, whatever, we need to free up some cap space, whatever, the organization gonna make a decision that's in the best interest, whatever, of them. Or when they feel as though, hey, when it comes to coaches and it's time to get a coach out of here, they gonna get that coach, whatever, out of there. So it always seems that this narrative always apply when it comes to the players or the coaches, or when it comes to the employee. But it don't hold the same weight when it comes to the actual organization or the actual employer.
Jamal, you make a good point, but think about it like this. Honestly, you're right. And I always say this. The NFL is nothing but a business. From a player and a coach's standpoint, you have to do what's best for you at the end of the day. That's why, realistically, I'm not mad about it. It's easy for fans to get caught up because they, too, most of the time, love the organization because that's the team they root for, right?
All
So,
facts.
like we say, not mad at all about your dreams and your goals if you want to be the coach. How he did it is the reason that most people are pissed off. I know that's why I'm pissed off. But at the same time, that was my old hell nah on my show the other night. But at the same time now, I'm not giving two damns about Liam Coen being gone because he's gone. But at the same time, everybody's not going to be stuck like that. And you're right. The business at hand, when it comes time to, hey, man, we need you to take a pay cut or we're going to have to let you go. Well, I'm not taking a pay cut. It's like XYZ was waived today by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like, God damn, they cut my boy. Yeah, they cut it because they got to do what's best for the team. Your point was spot on, dead on that. And it's always going to be that way. But like, Blake sent me some articles the other day. It really shows you the footprint of Liam Coen. So now that's even more reason for Buccaneer fans not to be pissed off at how he did it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was one of the first ones. I do a short that the motherfucker coming back and feel like 30 minutes later, I see Liam Coen interviewing with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I say, time out. This must be fake news or I'm reading this wrong because I just got the news that he agreed to a term to be the highest paid offensive coordinator in the NFL. So what the hell is going on? So from that standpoint, it pissed me off for a second. But every point you made when it come down to the point of the organization's going to do what's best for the organization, so therefore the coach and the player have to do what's best for the coach and the player, totally understood. And even Blake playing that video when they said the Tiger and Coen is even more reason to be like, you know what? It was fucked up, but hey, we should have known. We should have seen it. Nobody should be surprised. We should have seen it coming. And now
that's why I say 70-30. That's why I say 70-30. It is what it is. I agree with that 100%. But James, I got a question for you.
What's up?
So, say for example, like we know, which is facts, that the Tampa Bay Buccaneer organization offered Liam Coen to be the highest paid OC under the conditions of him not accepting the second interview with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And what's the big issue? Balt gets fired. The owner circles back around the block, and Liam Coen called the Bucs and said, "Hey, I've been offered the second interview, whatever, with the Jacksonville Jaguars." He entertains it. He don't get the job with Jacksonville. And then circles around the block with the Bucs, when the Bucs be like, you know what, hey, we asked you not to, whatever, entertain, whatever, the interview with the Jaguars, and you did. So we gonna release you from your contract, or we ain't gonna be able to pay you these $5 million. We'll have to pay you $2.5 million, whatever, a year. And then Liam Coen, would the Bucs be standing on their word, or would the Bucs be making a decision that's in the best interest, whatever of them,
They could have strung him along if that would have happened, but it's all hypothetical now. We don't know how it would have happened.
Yeah, we don't know, right? Like I said, we'll never know.
That being said, if as a person, we all know, if you think, damn, if I don't take this now, because trust me, I always think about this. Look at Byron Leftwich. At one point in time, he was one of the hottest candidates out there. Didn't take a job. The next year, things went downhill. Byron Leftwich, you won't even know he's alive somewhere right now. Like, you ain't heard his name in years, right? So I get what you're saying. The window of opportunity is like
the same thing with Houston. Right, the same thing with Houston OC. He was hot last year.
Yeah,
he was hot. Now he out of a job.
Yeah. Like, Jamal, what you say is relevant. I mean, it's very good points. At the end of the day, I'm not mad. Like I said, not mad at Liam Coen jumping on the opportunity that he had to jump on. But to me, the way everything was handled was just piss poor. Now, every Buccaneer fan, like I said, for the first 24 to 48 hours of all this happening, you should have been mad as hell. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But now,
coaches too.
Yeah, coaches, everybody. Because the promo video they made, like, he's back. I'm excited. Yes. All this stuff just to see, like, damn, to see them all dejected the way they were after.
All you need was womp.
Yeah. Hey, Jay, I got one even better for you, boss man. When Trent Bulk got fired, And one thing about me, anything that, just the mere fact that, hey, I'm about to say this on your show, Blake. I mean, I have receipts to
Go
back
ahead.
it up. I
Mhm.
said the Jaguars finna circle back around the block for Coen,
You already knew it,
especially
huh?
after Ben Johnson already took the job. I
Mm.
said
That
they finna
part.
circle back around the block. So I hit up, whatever my forces, whatever to be. I got 4 people that I'm gonna hit up. If I need to find out something or whatever, then I know 70 to 75% of the time I'm gonna get the information I need. I got 4 people I'm gonna hit up. 3 of them was like, nah, I think it's kind of sort of a done deal. Once the Bucs announced it and it leaked, went out in the media and all that, it's kind of sort of set in stone. And one hit me back. One said, you might be on to something.
Oh.
You might be on to something. At 12:30 that day, my source said Liam Coen Jacksonville right now. 12:30 that day, I got the receipts to approve it. 2:30 that day, he said Liam finna take that job in Jacksonville. 5:30, Adam Schefter reported it.
Yeah.
5:30, Adam Schefter reported. Got one better for you. Apparently around 5 o'clock, that's when Liam Coen called Todd Bowles. Little do Liam Coen know, the Bucs was already hitting on to the game. Bucs already knew.
Mm.
I guess whoever, once the media person got a hold that Liam Coen was in Jacksonville, that already got leaked to the Bucs.
Right.
And I
That's
guess that's
facts.
what I guess that's where the reception came once the cat was out of the bag. He had to come up
Yeah.
with a reason. The specialist or whatever they was in
And
Jacksonville,
that's
et
why his
cetera,
daughter,
et cetera.
not his daughter, his child, I'm sorry, allegedly. Like I
Yeah.
said, it ain't my lie to tell. Allegedly. Allegedly.
Yeah, none
That's
of
what
us was
the
there, so we
child
can't really say.
ended up in the hospital. So I guess for Liam, his child would be in the hospital 10 times when it comes to 60, 70 million, but hey, it ain't my lie to tell. It ain't my lie to
Mhm.
tell.
He
So,
said he got the money to spend now. He can go down there to that specialist in Jacksonville, so he might as well. He
he
got a
said,
bag. Got a bag waiting for him.
and he in the no tax city. He in Florida.
Hey,
So
that part. What you know now? Hey, man, it's just like you guys bring up a lot of points and stuff. Like me and James just recently, I think on like the end of the season, we were talking about everything. And James, what did I say on here about? I said, what about this man makes you believe that he is just this guy that's just going to come in and keep leading this team to success? It's been. I said, you remember I pulled up his resume. His resume. I said, this dude jumps around from this, that, and the other. I said, do you really want somebody like that running your organization that has finally got the stability that it's been craving for years? We've got a system now where your coaches are becoming coordinators. You got people from your office becoming GMs elsewhere. You're finally where you need to be and going in the right direction.
Right.
I said it for years. I said you'll start being a winning franchise when you start doing that. Winning teams have coaches that leave and go everywhere. That's on the high school level, that's on a college level, and it's damn sure going to be in the NFL. That's the way it works when you got shit going right. So when everybody talk about, well, he needs to come in and be this head coach, what about this man makes you believe that he's just this guy? He's been in the building 5 months. You clearly don't know the motherfucker you've been talking to for 5 months because he bit you in your ass because you didn't know who he is.
Right.
And he hit you with the shimmy shake when it came down to getting paid. Oh, like you said, you guys said everything. I love to sit back here because I'm about to talk my shit. Because you guys sat up here and talked about Todd Bowles getting fired. He's this, that, and the other. He's this, that. You don't know shit about this dude that you want to take over your organization.
Right.
A good business person, a winning franchise, whomever doesn't make those kind of decisions. I had a conversation last night. Now I said, dude, name me a franchise that does the shit you're talking about. Name me
a
one.
successful franchise.
That's what I said.
You can't.
Name
you
a
can't.
successful franchise that does the shit you talking about doing. There ain't one because they don't make impulsive ass decisions like you a bunch of females just want to make decisions just because that's the way I feel. I feel this guy that's going to come in and do this job. You don't know shit about this dude.
Right.
He couldn't be a head coach at Kentucky. So what makes you think he gonna come in here and keep doing what we doing? Well, he worked good with Baker Mayfield. You didn't want Baker Mayfield when he was a free agent.
Right.
Shut the hell up. You didn't want Baker Mayfield.
Right.
I said talking all that shit, but you sit up in your chat. Well, let's bake, baby. Let's do all this. Like, stop. I said I remember all that when it wasn't good. Remember when Tom Brady left? And that's another thing I posted. You saw. I said I told y'all in 2021, Tom Brady was the reason you lost Bruce Arians. And now it comes out.
It all came back. Yeah.
Y'all didn't want to hear it from me.
No.
Y'all didn't want to hear it. I told you that shit. Now everybody else on ESPN want somebody look different and say you want to take it credible. Now I told you that back then. I said, but and then you come into this period where it's supposed to be a retooling period and all that, and the man has kept this ship afloat. Yeah, you have bumps and bruises. What coach doesn't?
Exactly. That's part of the game.
That's part of your job. You got to keep the ship going even when it gets bad. Hey, shit ain't going right. I got to step in here and do this. He's done that. He has done everything necessary as a head coach. And until that aspect of it changes, you will not see me talk about this man needs to move on.
Right.
Blake, talk your shit, man. Talk your shit.
Somebody need to hit that damn church organ right now.
And both of y'all correct me if I just want to add to that, Blake, if you don't mind. Now, don't get me wrong. And I feel as though when it comes to players and coaches, whether I like a player, dislike a coach, it don't matter. Whenever it comes to assessing, a player or any situation pertaining to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I try to be as neutral as much as possible.
It's hard, but you got
to have a few moments of my gripes, whatever with Todd Bowles may be. But what I don't like what fans do is anything that's relatively related to the success of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Todd Bowles don't get none of the credit.
Nope.
It has to be somebody else.
Only the negative.
None of the credit. So say, for example, I love this narrative of there's two things I want to touch on real quick. I love this narrative of Todd Bowles don't know how or whatever to make adjustments.
Oh, Lord.
When facts remain, since the bye week, the defense only gave up 9 points. And this is prior to
playing bad
the wild card
they're
game against Washington. They gave up 9 points in the second half. Okay. Yep. We go on that streak. We went on. That was what we went 5-1.
Five again.
5-1 in that stretch. Come against the playoff game against Washington, the touchdown that they gave up, or whatever in the second half against the Commanders in the second half was off of a turnover by the offense. Now there was still no guarantee if but the fact remains. So my thing is nobody can't point that out whenever it comes to him not being able to make adjustments. But then when you point out that he is very well capable of making adjustments, he can't get the credit, whatever for that.
Or they blitz
he don't get the credit. Even let's go back to when he was a coordinator. If we want to push this further, I will not take nothing away from the GOAT when it comes to Tom Brady. He the GOAT for a reason. Yeah. And I am grateful to God that he chose the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to come and play. I'm not taking nothing away from the GOAT, the best that ever did it. But let's be honest, and Tom Brady did what he needed to do during that stretch for when we won the Super Bowl. He did what he needed to do offensively for us to be able to win. But let's be honest. The defensive play during that stretch played phenomenal.
Yeah.
Todd Bowles don't get that credit.
Nope.
Or it's it just proves, whatever, that he's capable of whatever being a coordinator. Or he's only as a head coach, he's only winning because the NFC South is not a good division.
It's always
Todd
another
Bowles can't control the teams that's selected in the division. Yeah. We can't control what Atlanta, Carolina, and New Orleans do.
Right.
They talking about how the New Orleans was in cap hell all of these years. If we want to be honest, this is our cap hell too, and yet still he's finding a way to get
winning.
So any of the success, Todd Bowles can't be associated with none of the success. Even I'm not going to even use the I word. A person on Facebook had the audacity to say, Well, Jason Light did a good job in choosing the offensive coordinators the past few years. I'm sure Jason Light, wait, whoa.
Yeah.
So this Todd Bowles team, and you mean to tell me that Todd Bowles don't get to choose who the offensive coordinator? He the head coach now.
Every time I was
He
in the
don't
league,
get
the
to,
head
so
coach
he don't
get a
get
say.
no credit for selecting Liam Coen. He
Nope.
don't get no credit for selecting
Dave Canales.
Dave
Dave
Canales.
Canales.
Yep.
It's
Right.
like any of the success associated with this team, Todd Bowles can't get no credit for that
Nope.
as the head coach.
But you already know why.
You already the
Wait,
goalpost.
I ain't want to be the one to say it.
Oh,
He the
I-
same
I
color.
wanna
He
be
the
the one
same
to
color
say
as my
it.
Oh,
shirt.
that's
I'm just
it.
saying. He the same color as my shirt. You already know that.
I didn't want to be the one to say it.
But you ain't gotta be
The goalposts
Facts
keep
is facts.
moving. The goalposts
Yeah.
keep moving.
Keep
The
moving.
things keep changing. I ain't never seen a coach where something like that happens. And hold on, I had something else to talk on that Jags thing because I just found something else from Jordan Schultz. We'll spin the block on that in a minute. I found this. I was like, Jamal, I went and did some research and stuff on this, and these folks ain't gonna like me for this one. Because I know the great and powerful, you can't talk about John Gruden. So
That's
yeah, you know me,
They
Jack.
got John Gruden back.
Let me finish. Right, I know y'all can't wait. Hold on, let me get to
Please, Blake, hurry up.
For 7 years that John Gruden was in Tampa Bay, he went 57-55. All right. In that time, he won. Come on, I got it up there. Come on. It's 3 division titles, NFC South titles. This is 7 years and 1 Super Bowl. In the 3 years Todd Bowles has been there, he has won the same exact thing and didn't win a Super Bowl, but he won a Super Bowl as a defensive coordinator. As a defensive coordinator. So that's the kind of area you could say, well, he did it as a head coach. Fair enough, but Todd Bowles will always be remembered. Super Bowl time will always talk about how he held Patrick Mahomes without scoring a touchdown. That will be talked about in the history of the NFL forever, whether you like it or not. I said, so my point was, I said, he accomplished the same amount of things in 3 years as John Gruden in less time, which is minus the Super Bowl, but he already got one as a defensive coordinator, which led him to get a head coaching job. So it's funny how we look at things different depending on who they are, depending on what the narrative is. There you go, Jamal.
Right.
What the narrative is. The man accomplished in 3 years the same amount of things as John Gruden did in 7 years.
And may I please add something to that? May I please add something to this? James, this is the first time you and I ever went live together. If I misspeak, please correct me, check me with what I'm about to say right now.
Let me get him full screen.
A head coach, I don't care if you was a defensive coordinator, an offensive coordinator, a special team coordinator, it don't matter. When you become a head coach, your job as a head, the highest level of football I ever played was high school. Your job as a head coach, you're responsible for all 3 phases of the game.
Yep.
And I hear a lot of times say for example, Todd Bowles is a defensive minded coach. And then, but the other unit, like the offensive unit is outperforming the defensive, side of the ball. Kind of, it is what it is. So my thing is, Todd Bowles gets so much heat because the offense is doing well, and then there was moments where the defense wasn't doing, whatever, so well. Name me a time under Gruden where the offense, because Gruden was an offensive-minded coach, right?
Genius.
Gruden was actually, all I'm about to say, I love John Gruden. By the way, I love John Gruden.
Yeah,
He's
same.
Super Bowl winning coach. John Gruden have my respect. So I hate these type of conversations because it's making it as if I have 100% negative outlook on John Gruden.
No,
I don't.
That's
but my
not
thing
what
is
we're doing.
for purpose of content right now, I got to say it. But my thing is,
what's out there.
And John Gruden was projected to be this quarterback guru, right?
Mm-hmm.
What quarterback has he ever developed?
0.
John Gruden was supposed to be this offensive, group. When have our offense ever was rated top 5
0.
under?
Sorry.
So I say all of that, whatever to say. He rolled the way. If defense was the strongest unit during his senior year, and kind of sort of, it is what it is. So my thing is, but it's such an issue. It's such an issue when Todd Bowles, but the defensive side of unit don't perform under him, but the offense, whatever, except that this only comes into play when it relates to Todd Bowles. A head coach that is responsible for all 3 phases of the game. That's offense, defense, and special teams. Point blank, period. Always situated, but just because he's a defensive-minded coach, automatically every year or whatever, his unit got to perform, whatever. I mean, that's the goal. I mean, but my thing is, I just don't understand, whatever, this narrative. Anything that goes back to what I originally said. Anything that's related to any success with this team, Todd Bowles can't get the credit. Don't get none of the credit.
Let me jump in another point of that. I don't want to always take it here, but y'all gonna get what I'm saying. I have never seen somebody have this much success so early. And I'll say Tom Krasnicki, I love his work when he used to work with, I call him my big brother, Mike Clayton, and all that. So but he said on here, Todd Bowles is on the hot seat again. I said, where and anywhere else in this league has a man been successful since he's been here, but he's on a hot seat every year?
Every year, going into the season, looking over your
Why
back.
is he on a hot seat?
Blake, can I say something, man, dog? And I hate
say whatever you want.
I hate that it always has to become about race. But the end of the
There
day,
you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, let's call a spade. Because if Todd Bowles
was
white, the conversation would never be had. That's point blank, period. And there's a lot of people out there that would say, man, James Cannida, you're crazy. No, the fuck.
No, I ain't. No, he's not.
The way he runs the organization, his team, not the organization, but the way he runs his locker room, the way the players look up to him, the way they respond to him. Now, granted, Dan Campbell in Detroit, I love Dan Campbell, but he doesn't make an excuse about the injuries they had. Look how depleted and beat up this defense was this year. At one point in time, with us playing with guys we got to bring in off the street, guys that were supposed to be on practice squad that had to get pulled up to run this defense that needs to be run a certain way, that you can't replace an Antoine Winfield to the magnitude of the success we've had in the past, right? You can't you can't just replace Kalijah Kancey when he goes out, or Vita Vea.
Even Carlton Davis.
Exactly, right? So Davis being gone. The Buccaneers will still be NFC South champs in pretty much every game they played this year. And not one time did anybody come out and make any excuses about it. But it's just like, well, that's not an excuse that everybody is hurt. But the same thing happens to another team, and it's like, oh my God, the Detroit Lions would have been great if they just didn't suffer all the injuries they suffered. But it's the same shit that went on in Tampa. But people pick the narrative that they want to deliver to people. Now, if you're a sheep, you believe what's put in front of you. If you're a lion, you dictate the narrative that goes out to everybody else. You can't come tell me anything you want me to believe and make me believe that shit, because I've been in locker rooms. I've been in offices with GMs. I've been in a head coach's office. I've seen how things go down, right? So I know the work that goes into having success. And I know how easy it is for people who are at the facility for only 2 to 3 hours a day to write something and make you believe what it is they want you to believe. Now, granted, if you are that gullible to fall into believing what everyone tells you without trying to find your own information, that's your fucking fault. That is your fault. That is your fault.
Me and Jamal talked about this. This Tampa media is a toxic Tampa media. They thrive on
media.
Bad information. What you say, James?
Tampa media, and I'm not going to say, we used to say this all the time in the locker room as players. We might have one of the dumbest fucking fan bases ever. And that was said by players in the locker room. And they still saying the same shit from the guys I talked to.
Yep.
I played 20 years ago. And a lot of these fans ain't got no smarter in those fucking 20 years.
Yep. Ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed.
Nothing.
And me and Jamal said, that's why Jamal say what he said. A lot of people get it. Some people don't. Whatever. If those you'll catch up eventually, or if not, oh well. But the narrative always gets fun out here in Tampa to fit whatever the need it is, and it's a lot of the Tampa media. That's why I'm glad guys are getting podcasts now. Players are speaking their truths and they talk now. I love that part about how the media has changed. But it's like James said, there's a lot of sheep. They go, well, that's what he said. That must be true. He's been at the facility for an hour and a half, so he must know what's going on. I'm like, This man ain't played a down of football. This man ain't took no coaching. This man ain't done shit. I said, what would make you believe that? All he does is for you to click and like on his content. That's his whole purpose in there.
Blake and Jamal, I say this all the time, and I laugh when I hear people say, well, they said this. Do you know that players and coaches give you what we want you to know?
No.
That part.
You only know what the fuck I want you to know. And if you get more than that, that's from that punk ass anonymous source. And I hate them bitches right there. Don't you ever sit back and talk about, well, an anonymous source told me, bitch, stand by your name. If you got something to say that shit with your chest and let everybody know. So this is my thing. I sit back now and I hear people talking about, oh, so, we reported this from One Buck Place today. I'm like, you know what? They said that shit because they knew you was going to say that and then get your spin off of it. You don't know a third or a fourth of what the hell is really going on inside that building unless they want you to know. So if something gets leaked, something that's relevant that gets leaked out and gets told, it's normally from someone that's anonymous that basically don't have a spine. But 9 times out of 10, players and coaches and GMs, we tell you what we want you to know. Other than that, you don't know more. You don't know half the shit that's going on in that building and what's happening and what's about to go on. And that's the part that cracks me up about people. When I listen and I see I go to Twitter and I go to Instagram and I see the posts, I'm just like, y'all have no fucking clue what's really going on at all. None. No clue.
How many times I tell you, James, I said how these guys I hang out with sat right over here, had drinks with. I said, boy, I could make a killing. I said, telling the stories. I said, but I didn't get in this business to do that. I would never do it. And I'm never going to do it. I said,
hey, you know better than I do, Blake.
Yeah, I said, because like I'm not here to ruin somebody's life. I said, I know people have been in rehab that the team tells them that it's personal things. Like, you guys have no idea what these guys do. And I got a lot of respect. I used to listen to guys having Alcohol Anonymous class, and I'm listening to guys that you watch on television in these classes online dealing with real life issues that they got to deal with. Like you said, you don't know half the things, and the media would spin it and make this guy look like the worst person in the world, but in reality, they're still a person at the end of the day. Let me spin the block. I know you're gonna jump into it. Let me spin the block before we get too far down the rabbit hole. I saw this part by Jordan Schultz. He was talking to the herd on the herd, and he was talking about a lot of things you were saying, Jamal, about Coen spinning the block and all that type of stuff. So let me post it real quick.
The big issue is Trent Baalke, Coen interview with the Jags went very well. The next day, he alerts Jacksonville, you know what? I appreciate the opportunity, but I want to remain in Tampa Bay over the next couple of days. I love Baker Mayfield, love Todd Bowles. The Bucs make him one of the highest paid coordinators in the league, $4.5 million. Everybody's happy. It's copacetic. Then you fast forward 24 hours. The Jags fired Trent Baalke, and now all of a sudden they start bombarding Liam Coen. Hey, would you be interested now that Trent's out? What can we do to get you in the building? Give us another chance. As it was described to me, they were going to make Liam Coen say no, not once, but twice.
Okay.
So they bring Liam Coen secretly.
That happens, by the way, in college a lot.
Absolutely. They bring Liam Coen secretly into Jacksonville. Nobody knows what's going on. And they meet with him basically all day. And Shad Khan becomes very enamored, blown away. And as it was described to me, and I reported this last night, they were not going to let Liam Coen lead the building. That's how well it went. And you asked me, why not Trent Baalke? What's the big issue there? The big issue is Trent Baalke is a survivor. He survived Jim Harbaugh, Jim Tomsula, Doug Peterson, Urban Meyer. Now you start to think, if I'm Liam Coen, why would I go to Jacksonville with Trent Baalke? Talk about not having alignment with the GM. It doesn't make any sense. And the other part, this is important to know, Colin. It's ironic that it's from an OC from the Bucs to the Jags, because if you rewind the clock 3 years, Byron Leftwich was in a very similar position. The Jags wanted him. Coen interviewed.
Yep. Go ahead.
But when Blake said it don't hold weight, when J-Buck said it don't hold weight, when somebody that been in the that made a living in the NFL locker room, when he said it don't hold weight, it don't hold weight.
Nope. We just talking.
Yeah, yeah, it don't hold weight when we say it.
And then that was the best part. I said, "Oh, I got to play this because you were just talking about that when he mentioned Byron Leftwich ain't got a job since."
Boy,
when you met, I said when you
he's
mentioned,
like, "Where's Waldo?" I'll be like,
yeah.
the other day I was like, "What the fuck?"
The other key part I liked in that, you heard him say on air, he said secretly met with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So that, I mean, that's going to hurt a little bit as far as Coen's story about the kid thing because he said secretly.
Right.
And I don't know how much credibility Schultz knows on that. So I know somebody going to check him on if it's not true, but he said secretly. I mean, what do you guys?
Hey.
Everything that you just played on that clip, we said within the hour of this.
That's why I said I had to play it.
So take it for what it's worth. If everybody just close their eyes and don't look at the panel, what we look like, just take that shit for what it is.
Lord, James,
we didn't do nothing but give you truth. There was no lies told. It's just how you look at it and how you perceive it and who you want to accept it from. But the truth is the truth, and that's what it is.
And that go ahead, Jamal.
I tell my Buccaneer fanatics all the time when they report on things, that just absolutely don't make sense. I'm not going to use the I word, but things that absolutely don't make sense. I ask this question all the time. Were you there? Were you in the locker room? Are you in one buck during these team meetings or doing these discussions? How would you know that information?
Mm-hmm.
Because James, here's another way I'm gonna need you to correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Buccaneers organization control what access the media has
And what's being told. See, that's the thing.
There is no one in any media from whatever the well-known media people. There is no one that is around the team 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Right.
Even when the media come during practice, they're only there for a lotted amount of time. They only have certain access.
They have a window, yeah. Right.
But we all need this narrative. Y'all. And then I even go as far as to say, even when it comes to the Tampa media brass, when you have certain individuals that's not on that, just to, say shit, just to sell, whatever stories, they'll figure out ways to cancel you out. But they very crafty. They cancel. They know who commands the attention. They know who and what to say, what to. They'll figure out a way to cancel you out.
Mm-hmm. Been doing
my thing is, it's all about that narrative. It's all about selling stories. It's all about clicks. It's all about likes. And it is what it is.
What you talked about people standing on your word and things like that. And I always say this quote, and I'll still say it till it changes. The word of man used to mean something. It doesn't really mean much anymore. And I always say another thing. I said, fake is the new real.
Yep.
Fake is the new real. I said,
damn, I wish I had my button geared up for that one.
Fake is the new real, and a lot of people don't even realize what real is when it's in front of you because you're used to fake.
Yep.
And that's just the core of that person or whatever it is. So when people tell you things, and like that, and I love that you both pointed this out today, us being 3 black men on here, and we don't work for one of the 4-letter networks. Nobody's going to tell me what narrative I can spin or not. So whether you want to believe what I tell you or not, I think I've been very credible. I wouldn't have the group of people I talked to if the stuff I said was lies.
Right.
If the stuff I made up was spin, to fit whatever narratives. And I just it's crazy that that we literally said the same things that people on big time networks said what we said verbatim in this last hour. It's just wild. It all depends on who's giving, like you said, Jamal. Depends on who's giving the info.
Mm-hmm. No, it can't be you. It can't be Blake Anthony.
Mm-mm.
It can't be Jay. It can't be J Buck. It can't be James. It can't be us. No, it can't be us. No. But it's all good though. It's all good. It's all good. Hey, at the end of the day, as a fan, Jay, I don't know if you ever heard me say this before. I'm a fan of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I speak my whole essence is me as being a fan. My whole demeanor, my whole talk, how I speak, it will speak from the perspective of a fan. That's what I relate to. That's how I see this game from a perspective of a fan. We have fan perspectives. The media, they have their perspective. Players and coaches, they have their perspective. The organization, they have their perspective. And I think once Buccaneer fanatics understand that, it'll help a lot of us, be able to navigate when it comes to, our love for the Tampa Bay, Buccaneers, kind of sort of, it is what it is, but hey, I as much as this Liam Coen situation, it hurts. God, it hurts. I would have loved another crack at it, next year with this offense, and they bringing in some pieces on defense, and
It's got
Jason
to be a
like gets
defensive draft.
another, draft, another draft, to bring in, some pieces. I would have loved another crack at it with Liam, being in charge of the offense, but then also too, it just goes to show that the Bucs brass is doing what they need to do. Kind of it is what it is. So now, this is one thing I teach my folks in the field that I work in, which I will keep that that remain anonymous. Sometimes the brain recognizes anxiety the same exact way as it recognizes excitement. Same exact way. So instead of us, it's not gonna do us no good to have all of this built up, feelings and emotions in regards to this Liam Coen situation. It's not gonna, help us, wonder what's gonna. Let's get excited about the next offensive coordinator, whatever that comes in. Dave Canales ain't my understanding ain't called plays. The Evan is like until he became an offensive coordinator for Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he was able to get a head coaching job. Liam Coen, with even with the Tiger stripes and all of that, negating the fact,
Lions, Tigers, and
negating
Bears. Oh my!
the success that he's had with that top five in rushing and top five in passing. Come on, now that ain't never happened in history of Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Even when James was playing. Nah, I'm just joking.
No. You're not joking. You're not joking. I know who my quarterback was when I first got to Tampa.
He just had to get him. We had to get him.
But hey, so y'all, us being fearful or having all of this anxiety, and I know, and Bucs fans, I know we operate under the space of PTSD. Just how we had these 5 years, straight playoff appearances. I was, hey James, I was born in the middle of that 14 double-digit losing season. As a season ticket holder, I went through out of the 12 out of those 13 straight years of missing the playoffs as a season ticket holder. As a season ticket holder, I sat through at least 12 of those years as a season ticket holder. Buck fans, I get it. But my thing is, us having so much anxiety about this whole situation, it ain't gonna do us no good. Let's flip that switch. Let's get excited about the next offensive coordinator that's gonna come in and get the same success with Mike Evans, Baker Mayfield, that stellar offensive line. We got three bulls back there running that ball. Jalen McMillan, coming on. K. I'm proud of K. I'm proud of that tight end. group, and hope, fingers crossed, we can get Chris, whatever, back in the building, hopefully. But I'm excited for the next offensive coordinator to see, the offensive coordinator get the same success that he got with the previous two offensive coordinator guy, and
Well,
if
for
he get
three
offered, whatever, a head coaching job after 1 year, then it is what it is. That means that the Bucs brass is doing what they supposed to do, and it is what it is. So, hey, I'm excited. I'm excited for the next person to come in. The next OC, to come in and to kill it. Baker Mayfield ain't new to it. I think I seen something that Baker Mayfield done had an offensive coordinator every year he done played in the league.
Yep.
That is some crazy shit right there.
You know who that sounds like too, right? Alex Smith. Remember Alex Smith? Almost the same path as Baker Mayfield till he got it to Andy Reid and became well with the Chiefs. Almost the same. I know you guys got to run. I just want, and I'm glad you brought up that last part. Who do you guys want to see as that? I said right now, I'm looking at Mike McCarthy. Right now, they're talking about Chip Kelly. And they're talking about I can't pronounce his name, out of Minnesota. I think those are three guys right now. I think they just interviewed the guy out of Minnesota. I mean, is there anybody you guys have in mind you would like?
They interviewed somebody out of the Chargers too. They interviewed Marcus.
Chargers, Chargers too.
Yeah. I don't know.
There's a brother too.
Keep Mike McCarthy ass as far away from the Buccaneers as possible. He is a finalist for the Saints job. Let him go to New Orleans and tear that shit up, and that way, we can do what we need to do. I haven't really looked at the lot out, so who's out there, what names come up. Chip Kelly, I think in the right role under somebody just calling plays could have success. That might not be far off or too bad, seeing what he was able to do for Ohio State at that capacity. He's a great offensive mind. He's just not head coach of it at all. So that might not be a bad thing, but at the end of the day, the way it's been rolling, whoever can come in and utilize Baker and continue to capitalize on Bucky Irvin and utilize Rachaad White more as well to go along with that receiving room that's going to have to be built up if Godwin does get away and Mike is going into year 12. That's something that might need to be addressed in free agency or even in the draft. Then everything else, defense, I think we're going to be all right.
Yeah. I'm hearing I cannot pronounce the guy name, y'all. It's a passing coordinator from the Rams. Shell House. I cannot pronounce the guy name. Okay. He was a former quarterback from Illinois. I think there was a possibility he was supposed to come to USF, but end up choosing Illinois. But he's under McVay's brass right now, and people are very high on him. So I did read that the Bucs requested for him to be interviewed. I don't know if the interview took place or not, but I do know that he's a hot commodity right now as well. But he's a assistant offensive coach for the Rams. Shell, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name, Shell House or something like that. But yeah, I there's some rumblings there too with that.
Yeah, Nate Shellhouse, or SCHEELHAASE. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're right. Everything I just looked up, he seems like a hot commodity because everybody's looking at the McVay coaching tree, and people forget McVay started here in Tampa with John Gruden.
With John Gruden. Yeah,
Tampa has its own roots. And I know it's beating a dead horse. They're finally starting to build their own culture here with coaches and everybody formulating out of here. That's what you want. You want all these guys, you're developing players, coaches, and everybody coming out of here. You're starting to be like that. I know you don't like Todd Bowles, but obviously a lot of people do if they want to come work for the man. So he clearly got to be doing something, right? I don't know. I may not know too much. James might not know too much. Jamal might know too much. But I usually teams that win have that kind of problem. Gentlemen, any final thoughts? You want to tell people where you want to plug in at, whatever you want. Your final thoughts?
Hey, I'm finna I'm always gonna be loyal, to Facebook, but I'm finna shift my talents to the Twitter. Boy, they crunk over there. They real stupid over there. Real stupid. Yeah, I'm finna, so y'all follow me on Twitter.
We got you.
525. Follow me on Twitter. You have to get real stupid over there. Yeah.
He said, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, former Buccaneers DT James Cannida, man. You can catch me on YouTube at Games Pewter Perspective. Also on X is BGSE Network, and on Facebook is James Cannida or Big Game Sports Buzz. Tap in, man. Let me know what you think. What's going on? Everything, all sports. Then I also got that Buccaneers content too. So, hey, holla at your boy, man. I'll be right there, right back at you.
Absolutely. Y'all know where to find me, especially with my reels. I definitely got one coming for the Cowboys and that bullshit hire they just hire. I can't wait to do that soon. We get off. Yeah, that crap. I can't wait to do my reel here in the next 30. But yeah, I appreciate you guys jumping on. We got to do more of these, man. I know everybody's got their lives, man. And today was such a hot topic to talk about stuff, but yeah, we got to link up and do these things. And then we'll end this as we always do. You're the master of everything. What you do with your life, what you do with it is entirely up to you. See you guys next time. And as always, fire them cannons.